Ghostship Aftermath was released onto Steam on the 18th of July 2014, the first game from British indie games company Mag Studios. It began development in August 2012 using the Unreal 3 engine and was designed with VR in mind from the outset, at a time long before the Oculus Rift or the HTC came onto the market, as VR didn't become commercially widespread until around about 2016. The game wasn't only designed for VR, and in the main menu you're given the option to play in VR or standard mode. Either way, you're given an immersive first-person experience as your only HUD information appears within your character's in-game helmet, tracking everything from ammunition to oxygen and flashlight battery levels. The game itself is set in 2368 when the Colonial Defense Force, or CDF, is responsible for the security of Earth and her colonies. Following the loss of contact with Earth's most distant colony located in the Icarus system, the CDF dispatches the dreadnought Goliath to investigate. Almost as soon as the Goliath arrives in the Icarus system, contact is lost, and so the CDF dispatches two specialists from the Colonial Science Division to determine if there are any threats on board. What they encounter is far worse than anyone could have ever imagined. Cliched? Maybe, but the background is one that players can easily digest and feel excited about, as claustrophobic abandoned spaceships make for ideal horror settings. You play as one of these specialists, Dr. Jake Abbots, and your partner, Dr. David Riggs, stays behind on your shuttle to act as your eyes and ears whilst you're on board. The game is a first-person survival horror and does not hold your hand. There's no tutorial, no navigation markers to follow, so you need to learn the layout of the ship by following signs on the walls or checking the maps that you encounter periodically. It also features permadeath, so if you die, you have to start from the beginning, and it's very possible to die within the first few minutes of playing if you're new and not sure where to go or what to expect. But even experienced players can't learn the game by heart. The game is a whopping 18 gigabytes on download, and that's largely due to the game's expansive branching storyline and randomization, meaning no two playthroughs will be identical. The monsters you encounter and places you find them can vary as much as your objectives. Even the way you board the Goliath and the weapon you start with can change. Almost a decade after this game came out, I'm still coming across new events that I've never seen before. The game is also open world, which means you have the ability to explore the whole of the Goliath however you want, with a few areas of the ship blocked off for narrative purposes. The narrative itself is driven by two NPC characters in the game. Riggs on your ship, who'll give you information about what you're seeing or what's happening, and Asmi, the ship's AI computer. Both characters will keep in touch with you regularly, and depending on the events of the game may even try to turn the other one against you, so you never quite know who is on your side. For the most part, however, they'll help you out and lead you towards the key objectives for the storyline that you're on, and yes, it's fully voice acted. Oh, and by the way, did I mention this game was made by just one developer? The only way to complete the game is to follow the objectives in your storyline, but for the most part you can do it on your own time. If you want to explore the ship, find its secrets, expand your arsenal of weapons and go achievement hunting, you can, but there are a few times when you're on a timer to reach an objective before something bad happens. So with a game this big and ambitious, how did players react to it? Well, feedback was mixed, with some players praising the old school difficulty and lack of hand-holding, its atmosphere and sound, despite acknowledging it had some jankiness to the controls, which couldn't be rebound upon launch. But other players found the game frustrating due to its difficulty level, particularly the permadeath, awkward controls, limited game settings and challenging combat with difficult and fast enemies. But even the negative reviews often praise the game for its vision and atmosphere. Mag Studios acknowledged the feedback and patched the game regularly, adding improved keybinds, enemy AI, and even instant action mode as a way of removing the permadeath in the lengthy intro, plus giving players a variety of weapons to start the game with. Despite the mixed opinions, Ghostship Aftermath remains one of my all-time favourite indie survival horror games to this day, and went on to spawn not one, but two prequels that continue to take on board the player feedback. The first was CDF Ghostship, released on the 26th of June 2015, also set on board the Goliath, and takes place days before the events of Aftermath. Whilst it featured the same soundtrack, layout and assets, it had improved graphics, improved player maneuverability, and improved gunplay. The game included many more weapons and ammo pickups in Aftermath, and as such, featured larger enemy swarms, feeling like more of a first-person shooter at times. In fact, the game was even marketed that way, with event stands calling Aftermath the survival horror, and CDF the first-person shooter, particularly as it came with additional Onslaught challenge game modes. The game did away with permadeath and resource management like oxygen and flashlight battery, and instead added readable data files from the crew, pickups, inventory management, audio logs featuring some top voice acting, giving you a huge amount of insight into the lore, working elevators, and survivors that gave you side quests, or you could just kill them. In many ways, it was an improved version of Aftermath, but didn't contain as much randomization or quite as many horror elements. Not to mention the feeling of danger was almost removed entirely by taking away the permadeath that made the first game so tense. Ghostship Chronicles was released on the 17th of November 2020, this time in the Unreal 4 engine, featuring highly polished graphics and gunplay against huge enemy hordes. It was set approximately 30 years before CDF Ghostship. Despite being part of the Ghostship trilogy, Chronicles had a linear storyline and even more pickups and weapons than CDF, but was by far the most accessible of the trilogy, featuring customizable keybinds, inventory management, the option to play in first or third person, and 3 separate save files. But even though Ghostship Chronicles brought the series into the modern age, one thing CDF and Chronicles didn't feature, but Aftermath did, was Brian. Trooper Brian Johnson was the first person to become infected by the alien disease that wiped out the crew of the Goliath, and he was given antibiotics to treat it, but instead it made the infection worse, mutating him into an inhuman monster impervious to all weapons. The crew locked him in the Goliath's brig, and you can still find him if you look for him in his cell. After picking up the shotgun at the far end of the brig and turning to leave, Brian will break out of his prison and pursue the player through the ship for the rest of the game. Like Mr. X from Resident Evil 2, Brian is invulnerable and serves as an additional challenge to the player, who will get an achievement for completing the game with Brian loose on the ship. He's easy to outrun, but will always show up eventually. Depending on which NPC you have supporting you, either Riggs or Asmi will tell you whenever Brian reaches a section of the ship you're currently on. He'll usually come out of a side tunnel to surprise you or sneak up behind, but he can be distinguished by his zombie grunts, unless you're fighting zombies, when you won't be able to hear him coming. But unlike Mr. X, or even Nemesis from Resident Evil 3, no one could bring Brian to his knees. He just kept coming. But just as Mr. X was one of my favourite parts of Resident Evil, Brian was one of my favourite additions to Aftermath, and back when I was streaming, I'd always include him in my challenge runs, trying to complete the game under certain conditions whilst he was loose on the ship. But the day after I completed my last Aftermath stream, I received a small brown envelope through the post, which must have been delivered by hand as it contained no postmark. It was simply addressed to SpeedcubeRG. I was intrigued by this and turned it over to open it, and on the back were 3 initials written in elegant black handwriting, MMM. I gingerly opened the envelope, careful not to damage whatever was inside. As I opened it, a small photograph fell to the floor. There was nothing else inside. I picked up the photograph with trembling fingers and turned it over to see a picture of what looked like Brian lying dead on board the CDF Goliath. A note was underneath. All it said was, "He ran out of oxygen." Right then, I knew what I had to do. I had to return to the Goliath to complete one last challenge run. Was it actually possible to kill Brian without glitches or cheats? It was time to find out. Okay, so this is where we're going to try and kill Brian. Right, I've come down to Deck 7 operations, which is kind of the lowest part of the ship. The reason I've come here is it's usually generally pretty devoid of enemies. And also we've got this big open loop right around this pit here, so we can see where things are at all times. And I'm planning to loop Brian around this ring whilst I use all the different weapons against him. So all I've got to do now is wait until he finds me down on this floor. Alright, Asby's just announced that he's here, so here is Brian. And we're going to test it first of all on the lowest strength weapon, which is the laser pistol found in the storerooms. So we're going to completely empty the entire charge. I've got to make sure there's nothing coming up behind me. Alright, and now we're going to move to the plasma pistol, which is the weapon you kind of start the game with, but it's you can use every single clip. So what I've tried to do is I've tried to go around the ship and find every possible weapon from all the sort of secret areas, from all over. So I've not been doing any objectives whatsoever. Just been going around spending the last couple of days just collecting weapons just for this experiment. And What I'm trying to do is catch him on the corners like this. You can, and you keep him there for a little while, but nope. So one of the great things about this game, something I didn't actually realize at first, is that if you get all the weaponry and clips in an area, leave the area and come back, they will all be there or waiting for you again. So you can stock up and bring up all your clips to full. Now, it does of course say that Brian is invulnerable, but look, we are making him bleed. And if he is the first infected, we want to try and go for headshots where possible. Now, my aiming's a little bit off because I'm experiencing some kind of weird snap to grid with the aiming function. So when I'm trying to get a precise headshot, it's bringing my mouse kind of into the wrong place. Oh, we're caught on something there. Need to get moving. And we are now down to 8 clips left on the plasma pistol. It should get more exciting when we get to the stronger weapons. I'm literally working my way up each weapon from 1 to 9, including the prototype rifle from the Williams suite. So we've got all the fancy weapons, all of them. But I believe the shotgun is the most powerful per hit. Right, he's stuck again. Let's try and get some headshot. Here he comes again. Let's move back a bit. And what I'm hoping is that no alien swarms are going to appear during this test. So I don't know if anybody's actually tried doing this before. Back when the game was first launched, when the guide started springing up around weapon damage, but Brian is still there on the guide as invulnerable. But I would not put it past Sean and Mag Studios to have a way to defeat him, which we are going to discover. even if weapons are not the way, there could possibly be another way to do it. For example, there is an objective or an achievement in the logs to blow up the cargo hole. So, is it possible, if you're at the right place at the right time, to have Brian in the cargo hold and blow him out? Like the alien queen from Aliens. It would be absolutely great if we could do something like that. That would be really cinematic. A nice little twist on this. But first of all, I need to see if he may be invulnerable. Right, we're completely out, so we're going to move to the next weapon, which is the low-grade laser. So again, auto-firing weapon. When this gets down to 1, we're out of charges. But look, anything that bleeds like that has got to be killable, right? So that's that weapon. Next one up is the plasma rifle. Another ballistic weapon, this one. So yeah, laser weapons are self-charging, provided you don't go into an airlock on no charges, then it breaks the weapon. But these plasma weapons, yeah, ballistic weapons, you can find ammunition all over the ship for them. Although they're generally off the beaten track. Well, it depends where you go, really, to be honest, because certain parts of the ship have a theme. So, for example, on the security deck, you're more likely to find body armor or the shields, which is that blue lifeline I have on my HUD. Medical, you're more likely to have med kits, and so on and so forth. There is an armory, but it is pretty empty in this game. In the prequel, it is chock full of weapons and ammunition, if you can complete the side quest to get in. But yeah, in this one, it's got next to nothing. The best place for weapons in this game is the Williams suite, which is found on personnel deck 4. Oh, he just teleported. He's just teleported. He can add that to his roster of special abilities. So what I'll probably do is, at the end of this, I'll probably tot up how much damage I've done to him by looking at the weapon damage guides and going through the number of magazines that I've gone through, and just to see if we can actually work out a total amount of damage. But so far, he is not showing any signs of stopping. He's like a Terminator His damage is so-so. He does about 20, 30 points of damage per hit, which is pretty significant when you are without a shield. The great thing is he's slow. So we can generally keep him on these corners. Thought I heard some aliens come out behind me there. Whilst we shoot him. But even like Mr. X... Oh, we've gone back to an incorrect weapon there. Even Mr. X or Nemesis in Resident Evil, you could actually bring them to their knees. Whereas we can't seem to do that here, which is beginning... I'm already starting to question whether it is possible to kill Brian. But, you know, that photo, that screenshot, must be a way. Must be a way. Question is just how. Oh god, I'm caught. I'm caught. And that's the thing, you don't want to get caught on the scenery in this. The collision detection is pretty harsh. So I'm trying to also think what other environmental effects could actually harm Brian. There are explosive barrels. That's something else that we can try after this and see if that works. But I'm not holding out for it. There may be a kind of trick way you can do it. Maybe direct damage is not the answer. Now, the other thing is maybe oxygen. But if I turn off the oxygen, I'll die too. Well, not that I've run out, rather. I can't turn it off. I think I'm missing most of those. Yeah, he's teleporting again. He's teleporting again. Right, we're nearly finished the plasma rifle. The prototype rifle, which I'm saving till last, is going to be an interesting one because that's a special weapon. You know, you can only find that in really hard to get to circumstances. Williams Suite and potentially the supply room in medical, but that can only be unlocked if you are on the mission to get the medical officer's logs. It is locked down otherwise. And I've not been actually trying to complete any missions in this whatsoever. I've literally just been spending the last couple of days trying to get the weapons. So this is the last clip for the plasma rifle. Now we're going to move on to the next weapon, which is plasma shotgun. Really close range weapon, this one. But also does about 300 points of damage, which if you think, say, a rifle is doing around 50 points of damage per bullet. Are we reloaded yet? Yes. That's a significant amount of damage. Obviously, the side effect is you need to be point blank to use it, which is not always good. Alright, so if you reload it, we've got a whole load of shell boxes for this. And again, the shotgun isn't even slowing him down. Just reloading. Here we go. Very slow weapon. Very slow rate of fire on this one. Oh god, caught. Thought I was going to take some damage. It is possible! Oh my god! It is possible! It is possible to kill Brian! He is not invulnerable! Oh, no! Oh my god! Oh my god, I'm wrong! I thought I'd done it then! I thought I'd actually done it! It's possible to take him down! Is it possible to kill him? Oh my god! Wow. Can we repeat this? Because maybe that's it. Maybe it's not possible to give him an unlimited amount of health. I don't know. I'm not a programmer. Maybe he had to be assigned some ridiculously high value. And then once that hit the high value, he could be taken down. And then maybe he gets up again. But I want to see if I can repeat that. Okay, slow reloading. Slow reloading. Oh god, caught again. Right, after the shotgun, we're moving on to the next weapon, which is the prototype rifle, which I'm saving to the end. So we're going to go with the battle rifle next, which is one of the go-to weapons, I think. It's my favorite weapon in the game for rate of fire, damage per hit. You generally find it on the deck 5 in the environmental control. It's hidden away in the far furthest room. And quite often, when you go to get it, it triggers a zombie horde. So you're trapped in there using the battle rifle that you've just got to get. And then you have to use it and use up all the ammo you've just got to get out. Unless you're really quick. Okay, how can he take this much punishment? Of course, you get lucky. Not a problem. Just come out, rinse and repeat. And then you can get the cap, which is 14 clips. But there's also several clips near personnel in the main access corridor. It's the only ammunition I've ever found in the main access corridor. Medical has quite a few clips in it as well, which is interesting. Oh, I'm caught on something. But they're for the plasma rifle, I'm pretty sure. Or the submachine gun, which isn't as good as it sounds. I don't even think we've tried that weapon yet. I'm kind of going up the weapons, but not even tried the submachine gun, which is one of the first weapons you actually get. There we go. Look at all that splatter. Oops, I've gone back to that again. My mouse buttons are really sensitive. All right, we're gonna go. We're on this one now. Okay. Now, there is a pit there as well. I wonder. It's a shame there isn't a way to kind of knock him back down the pit. In the prequel, you get a rocket launcher, which I'm pretty sure has knockback to it. There's no rocket launcher in this. Well, it's there. It's there in the armory. But as of yet, I have no idea how to actually open it. And I think it was just put in there as a teaser. Okay, we're completely out on the battle rifle. So we've got the laser rifle high grade. Significant rate of fire, but obviously it runs out very, very quickly. I'm getting a bit too close to my liking there. Alright, so now we're out of that. Then we're moving on to the Plasma SMG, which is actually one of the first ballistic weapons you pick up beyond the pistol. I don't know why this is... because you can't rebind the weapon keys in this. I don't know why it's so high up the list. Because you should be going up in order of sort of strength or rarity. Nevertheless. But I think now we've used up the shotgun, I'm not sure we're going to get the same results because the shotgun's damage is insane. So if this is literally about, you know, after so much damage you go down, we've gone through the shotgun already. This is pretty rubbishy weapon anyway. What the hell? Oxygen's running out. Oh my god, my oxygen's running out. I just refilled it. How have I got 9 minutes? I went in here just before this battle. I refilled my oxygen. Alright, I'm going to have to sprint to the oxygen unit. And hope that he doesn't catch me in there. He's right over there at the moment. Let's quickly go and see if we can fill up before he comes back. Because if he finds me over here, this is like a kind of... I'm pretty sure I get trapped. There's a door out the back. 8 minutes. Alright, here we go. Oxygen, 98 minutes. I don't know how that went down so quickly. Can we get out of here again? Where is he? I've completely lost him. He was back around here. Let's quickly go around here. There he is. He's still stuck over there. Oh god! Caught on something there. Oh, it would be great to be able to take him down again. And then I can at least have a think my theory about his hit point value. It might be correct. That he will go down and get up again. Just because he needs to have a hit point value assigned to him in the game. I don't know. That's the level of my programming skills. Alright, last clip on the submachine gun. Okay, I think all we've got left now is the prototype rifle. The high-grade rifle is restocked, whereas it's the battle rifle and plasma shotgun. Where is the prototype rifle? Here we go, prototype rifle. I've never used this weapon before. This will be interesting. So it's higher rate of fire than the battle rifle, but I don't know about its damage output, and I've only got 2 more clips left. Oh god! He's hit me. He's just hit me again. I took 8 points of damage there. It's probably the shield absorbing most of it, thankfully. Alright. 1 more clip. It's the last clip. Yes! Oh my god! Oh my god, it's a screenshot moment. He is down again. It is possible to take him down. But it looks like, look at him jiggling away. He will get up. He will get up again. Just based on last time, he will get up again. I don't even know where my high-grade rifle is at this point. Is he going to stay down? Is he going to stay down? I think we've done it. I think we've actually done it. On the last prototype clip, we have brought Brian down. Ladies and gentlemen, it is possible to kill Brian Johnson in Ghostship Aftermath. It is doable. All right. And now you can go about your business and go and complete your objectives and hopefully still get the complete the mission with Brian Unleashed achievement at the end of it without him bothering you. There you go. It is doable. All right. I'm going to call it there. Okay. Don't forget you can join the Sleep Squad community Discord. The link, as always, is in the description below. But if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, give it a thumbs down. But why not consider subscribing for more horror shenanigans? Until next time, please stay safe. Thank you.